What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to give my preview and prediction of the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Auburn Tigers. Very intriguing matchup. You got two teams coming off of losses. The Oklahoma Sooners lost against the Tennessee Volunteers at home. And you got the Auburn Tigers coming off a loss to the Arkansas Razorbacks at home. So two teams coming off a loss and trying to get things back on, track, as far as, get a victory and stuff like that. I'm going to read off the stats. I'm going to start with Auburn. Auburn uh, started Peyton Thorne at quarterback this season again. He was the starter last season. He was actually a transfer from Michigan State. So far, he has 700 yards passing. He has a completion percentage of 57.1 with 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Just can't get it going, offensively. Keeps turning the ball over and stuff like that. And he's a guy that can be a threat, running the ball, but passing the ball, he has struggled, a lot. And Hugh Freeze has been very, very critical of his team, and since then has made a quarterback change. And he has inserted Hank Brown, young guy, has 403 passing yards so far with 6 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Another guy that's struggling passing the ball down the field has turned the ball over. And their last matchup against Arkansas was just back and forth. Both teams would turn the ball over. Both defenses were, forcing turnovers and stuff like that. So, if you're an Auburn fan, you would like to see more consistency and not turn the ball over. But one thing I feel like Auburn does have, uh, success is when they're trying to run the ball. Jacquez Hunter at running back, he has 340 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. They also got 2 more guys. Damari Austin, he has 140 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. And they also have Jeremiah Cobb. He only has 65 yards rushing on the season. But Peyton Thorne is actually third on the team with 102 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. So Auburn can actually, they've had success running the ball. You just would like to see more consistency with that, and also be able to establish a passing game. It's going to be very, very interesting to see going forward. Can Hank Brown clean up the mistakes? Try not to turn the ball over. When he did come in the game, he did give a spark to the Auburn offense, but just got to be able to hold on to the ball and not turn it over and stuff like that. Defensively for Auburn, it's kind of a mixed bag in my opinion. Their rush defense, in my opinion, is really, really bad. They got to be able to contain the run. Arkansas was able to run the ball a lot. Taylor Green, a very elusive guy, and Michael Hawkins for, Oklahoma, he's been inserted as the starter as well, but he has some same similarities as Taylor Green, in my opinion. I think he's better passing the ball. So it's going to be very interesting for this Auburn defense. They got some guys on that defense that can, cause some havoc. Jaron Johnson, he has 22 total tackles, 2 passes defended, and 1 interception. So he's all over the field. Very, very great safety for the Auburn Tigers. They also have Dorian Mossey Jr. at linebacker. He has 20 total tackles behind Jaron Thompson. He has a pass defended. So Kedrick Falk on the D line. They got some guys up, front that can put a lot of pressure on you. They just give up a lot of rushing yards and stuff like that. So you would like for them to clean that up, especially in this matchup against Oklahoma Sooners coming up. I'm going to just go ahead to the Oklahoma Sooners, give my stats on them as well. Oklahoma, like I mentioned earlier, they've inserted a new quarterback. Jackson Arnold was the starting quarterback. He had some turnovers, in their matchup, last week against Tennessee. So they have inserted, a new quarterback in Michael Hawkins Jr. He gave a spark to the offense. It seemed like he was kind of calm back there, and he brought a spark to the offense. Can pass the ball downfield, but also a threat with his legs, just like I mentioned with Tyler Green for Arkansas. So can he do enough, though, to go against, on the road against Auburn? It's going to be very, very interesting. But He threw for 149 yards so far on the season, one touchdown. Like I said, very, very dynamic. It's a huge shock. I felt like Jackson Arnold should have been given more time. Um, another chance is what I'm saying. To be able to move the Oklahoma offense, but Brent Venables felt the need to pull Jackson Arnold and put in Michael Hawkins Jr. Will it be too much for him? It's going to be interesting. Even though Auburn the last couple of games have kind of struggled at home, it's still a wild place to play at. And can he become on the road against Auburn? It's going to be very, very interesting. Another thing that's shocking for Oklahoma to me is their run game. They have some really, really good running backs. Oklahoma is very, very, talented team. They got a lot of good players on their team. Javante Barnes uh, has 138 rushing yards so far and only has one touchdown. They wasn't able to run the ball as effective against Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat where it was only averaging like 1.1 yards a carry. That's horrendous. You would like to see Oklahoma's O-line get something going. I know they've been kind of shuffling around some guys and trying to gel, but they definitely have to establish a run game going forward. It's going to be very, very interesting. But they was able to get something going with Deion Burks at wide receiver. He was able, incorporating in the run game. Going to need him in this matchup against, Auburn. And he's a receiver. He has 201 receiving yards on the season. He has 3 touchdowns, so he's definitely one of their leading receivers. They also have Bar Sharp at tight end with 116 receiving yards with a touchdown. They also have Brandon Thompson. He has 76 yards receiving on the season with a touchdown. They also have Jaquez Petway, who has 79 yards receiving. So Oklahoma has the guys, man. They just got to be able to get it going, offensively. And maybe Michael Hawkins will be that guy for them. Zion Raggins, another guy that they have at wide receiver that can potentially spark something for this Oklahoma offense. But it's going to be very, very interesting. I think between the running backs and uh, Michael Hawkins being able to run the ball a little bit, he's a threat with his legs. I think Oklahoma could probably get some things going, but that all remains to be seen. Oklahoma's defense really, really good in my opinion. That's what kept them in that matchup against Tennessee. Held Tennessee to 25 points. I realize that Tennessee has their tackles out their game, but still being able to hold a good player in Nico to only scoring 25 points is very, very interesting. At tackle, they have Danny Stutzman at linebacker. He has 36 total tackles. They also have Billy Bowman Jr., and he has an interception on the team. But a very, very stout defense. I would expect that from Brent Venables to have a very, very good defense. And you can tell they're getting better and better. They just need, their offense to start clicking and give them some rest between, getting off on third down. Uh, Oklahoma can definitely win this game. I was looking at the overall stats and the line for this matchup. Currently, uh, the stats, they have, I think it was like 2.5 points or something like that. Point spread for this matchup against Oklahoma versus Auburn. If I had to give my prediction for this matchup, it can go either way, but I feel like Oklahoma is going to be able to contribute in this game and get this victory. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of the last matchup against what Auburn was playing against Arkansas. Michael Hawkins Jr., in my opinion, kind of remind me of Tylen Green. I think he'll be able to, sustain some drives for Oklahoma. Be able to pass the ball in, run it to keep Auburn's defense honest. But it kind of worries me if you're an Oklahoma fan, about your O-line. Can they hold up against Auburn's defensive front? Like I said, I think Auburn's really, really good at rushing the passer, affecting the quarterback. But maybe Oklahoma will be able to exploit that and be able to get some rushing yards. Like I said, Auburn gave up a lot of rushing yards against Arkansas, but it's going to be interesting because Oklahoma hasn't really established the run yet. So, like I said, this is a tough game to call, but I think I'm going to pick Oklahoma to win this matchup. I can't really give a score prediction, but that 2 point, 2.5 point or wherever, the line is, I can see it going that way. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think Oklahoma goes on the road, and I think they get a victory against the Auburn Tigers. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.